I've been missing for quite a while. I've probably got quite a few updates to make. There's quite a few changes to my setup. My record collection has massively changed since I last made a video. I've got a lot of things to catch up on. Today I want to focus on something that was sent to me. So the good people over at Angel's Horn were kind enough to send me this turntable. I absolutely know nothing about this thing really, other than a picture that they sent to me, but it is a HP H00501. It just slips right off the tongue of the name, not gonna lie. But yeah, I wanna get into opening this thing, go over its features, and basically just give an honest opinion on what I think of it. I mean, I'm not getting paid for this thing, I've just been sent it for free, which is obviously lovely, and I really want to thank the company for, you know, all the nice things they've said about the content that I've put out. Obviously not on YouTube recently, but I've been putting stuff on TikTok, so maybe that's what they were talking about. But yeah, let's get into this thing. Yeah, it's a bit better, because this is quite a big box to get into, so yes. Without further ado, is it a box within a box situation? Yes! Yeah, I thought it was going to be. There we go. Hey. So it looks like it's the walnut one is what they have sent me. Oh, it comes with a 24-month warranty. This better not be another box. I'm not even joking, it's another box. Is this where it's just like one of those Russian doll things where eventually it gets down to it and it's like one of those little ones that plays the 3-inch record? I mean, I wouldn't turn my nose up at that. I absolutely love those little 3-inch records. Hey, here we go. Stuff. Crap. So, I'll put this on the floor now, I think. Okay. So the first layer is the speakers. I've always wanted bookshelf speakers actually, because the ones I've got are quite big and chunky. They have to sit on the floor. Yeah, they look lovely. Angel's Horn. The walnut finish ones, pretty nice and solid. And then it also comes with this cableage. So these wires here I can already see, these are the red and black wires to connect the speakers up. These speakers, they're like a smaller version of what I've already got there, so you don't need to have a separate power thing for the speakers. They're powered by the turntable. It looks like that's going to be the case. Instruction manual. Oh, that's the belt. So this is a belt-driven turntable. Lovely. The first turntable I had were those Newmark decks, and because I bought them pre-owned, they never had a dust cover. And oh my freaking god, these things are so crucial. They are an absolute essential. Okay, now this is the bit oh god, don't worry, it was just polystyrene. There we go. There we go, finally. Counterweight is in here. So this, I think, is probably one of the most essential things, at least I would look for in a turntable if I was buying my first one. So it's a really good thing that this has it, because I don't know, I see a lot of people that have that, I'm not sure what it's called. It looks really nice, to be fair. I'll put a picture up of it. But it's the one that has like the automatic arm that comes up and drops down onto the record, and it's got external speakers and everything, which is great, but it doesn't have a counterweight to it. And this is important because this helps the longevity of your records, because if you're not tracking, if the needle, so this basically dictates the amount of pressure that your needle is putting on to the record. And obviously if you've got too much weight on that, it's going to wear the grooves out and your records are going to go faster, because eventually they will go. All records will outplay themselves. It's quite older records. Often it can sound like crap, or you might get a vintage one and it'll be like, it'll start to sound alright and then it'll get to the most popular track in the album and it'll just be like horrible sounding. It's probably because whoever owned that record throughout the 60s, 70s or 80s was just going back to that same track over and over again and the grooves are worn on it. So if you're adjusting the weight on a record, what it's supposed to be, because every tone arm and everything tracks at a different weight. You know, so if you're putting too much pressure on it, it'll wear too fast, and if it's too loose, what you'll often find is that it'll skip a lot. So often when people comment, oh, the pressing sounded terrible, they kept skipping, and then their trick for dealing with that is to put like a 10p or a 2p piece on the arm. That's solving it because it's adding the extra weight, but then that might be adding too much weight. You know, so I don't often pay much attention to comments when I hear people talking about pressing, saying, oh, that's a terrible quality pressing because it kept skipping. I think, well, what record player are you using? Because if it's one that doesn't have one of these, it might just be your record player. But yeah, my little rant over there about that. How do I get that off? So it's got options here for phono or line. I think line is for you to just connect this up to these speakers and away you go. Everything's built into this, because record setups need 4 components. They need a turntable, they need an amplifier, a phono stage and speakers. So this has got the speakers obviously separately, which is always recommended, because you don't want built-in speakers into the player, preferably because you want to avoid any vibrations on the actual turntable platter. So it's got the external speakers, and then I think it's got its own phono stage and amplifier is what's built into the back, while it's got like this box at the back of the thing here basically. And then obviously, so this is a 3-in-1, and then it's got external speakers, which if anything is that's the ultimate for what you kind of want for like a first time record player, which is quite cool. So yeah, I'm going to tidy everything up a little bit and see if I can have a look at this thing a bit more. Oh, it's got a Bluetooth mode. I'm genuinely, this is the first time I haven't looked at any specs on this, but yeah, it's got a Bluetooth mode as well. I was just starting to going to start to tidy everything away. As you can see, it's all still a mess. And I missed out one crucial part of the setup, which is the actual platter is also in the bottom of the box. I didn't see it. So let's open up this thing. So it comes with an Angel's Horn black placemat, though I gotta be honest, I'd recommend not using this. So this is the actual thing, so this is just gonna sit on here, but I need to put the belt and everything on first. I'd always recommend getting like an acrylic platter thing just to put on top of this. It costs like 20 quid or something. It's just a nice little worthwhile accessory, I think, to go along with this. But now I'm going to tidy up. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing with said record player is, so this is my setup at the moment now, which I've built for quite a while, and I do love it, but that is my new amplifier. Yeah, that is my new amplifier, and that needs to be taken in somewhere to get repaired, so I actually can't even use this setup at the moment to listen to records. So if anything, this has come at the perfect time, because I don't have a way of listening to records in my room. I've got a record player downstairs, but I don't have one in my room. So as much as I love how I've got all this laid out, I'm going to take all of this off the top of my unit here and set this record player up instead, and then I can, properly test it. There we are. So I haven't actually set everything up yet. I've just kind of got everything repositioned so it looks a bit nice and neat. But I haven't actually connected anything up yet. The belt isn't even attached to this. So yeah, I'm going to leave all this now as it is. And then I'll be back and I will do the rest of the video and show you how I'm gonna look to set this thing up. I should be pretty okay with doing it. So first thing I'm going to do to set up the turntable is put the belt on. So I'm just going to hook the belt around the motor and then hook it around the actual plinth that the motor is going to be spinning. You want to do this carefully because you do not want to snap that belt, and you want to make sure that it's not got any twists in it. Next, just to make sure that that's working. With this turntable, it doesn't have a button. You just set it to whatever RPM you want, and then you move the tone arm across as if you were playing the record, and it will start spinning the platter for you. So that's how this one works. Next up now, I'm going to do the actual counterweight part, which can be a bit tricky. So you just want to get the weight, you just want to put it on there with the numbers facing towards you until you hear it click. So when you twist it backwards, that's going to be making it lighter, and when you twist it forward, that's going to be adding pressure to the needle. So what you want to do is you want to get it so that it balances, and then you want to set that point then to 0 on the little dial thing there, and then do 2 full rotations of it back to the 0 again, and it should be tracking at 3.5 grams. I've got one of these, which is very handy to have to actually test it. You can pick them up pretty cheap on Amazon again. I'll put a link in the description. But yeah, I was more or less bang on with the weight, and there's nothing left to do now but to actually listen to the setup and see what I think. I'll give it a few days and then I'll come back and finish off the video. So thoughts, I've got mostly positives, not gonna lie, a few little negative things, but nothing too major if I'm being fully honest. But I've had the chance to use this now for 3 days. Just whilst I've edited the rest of the video, I've basically just been using it as my regular player. I've tried to give it as much of a variety of records as possible. By that I don't just mean genres, so I've tried new pressings, original pressings on it, Japanese pressings on it, then different genres as well, hip-hop. I've even gone for a hip-hop acoustic album on it, bootlegs I've tried on it as well, just as many combinations of things as I could possibly think. Tried the 45 setting and the Bluetooth one as well. The way I'm looking at this thing, because I've got a high spec setup already, kind of looking at this more as, is this something that I would have wanted previously? Because this isn't going to replace my setup, you know, but I just wanted to, you know, view it as kind of like would I have wanted this when I was first starting out? And I just see nothing but positives with it really. So the main things I'd say is that with a with a record setup, you've got the 4 components. You've got the turntable, the phono stage, the amplifier, and the speakers. So ideally you want the speakers separated from the turntable because you want to reduce the amount of vibrations. These have external speakers, so that's already a big tick. And then for ease of getting you into it, it's got the other 3 components, the turntable, the phono stage, and the amplifier, is all built into this as well. So it just ticks the boxes right there that, you know, it's easy enough to set up. But then it also has the capacity for you to upgrade it later on. So if you wanted to, you could just use this as kind of like a turntable, I believe. And then it's got the line out option. So if you did in the future decide, you know, I want to get a better phono stage to the one that's built into this one, because almost any external phono stage you're going to get is going to be a higher spec one than whatever is in this turntable. That's just the case. You know, whatever they put in these kind of all-in-one kind of configurations or 3-in-1, they're never as high a spec as what you would buy individually. But it's a good benchmark to kind of like set up, and then you can kind of upgrade the setup as you go, which is kind of what I did when I first started collecting. The fact that it's also got a Bluetooth option is amazing as well, because the price of vinyl is just going up and up and up and up. So if you are just starting a collection, there's a chance that you're not going to have a lot of your favorite albums on vinyl, and so this is just a good way to still listen to those albums, you know, through these speakers and, you know, through your home audio setup basically. I know I did go to play a 45. I went to try and play, I think it was the Weekend Bright Lights, which has got a H00501 jukebox adapter, so I had to use this one, which is the one that came with it, but I didn't end up playing it because this thing, it wasn't great. It didn't fill me with confidence because there was like wiggle room in there, and you want it to be spot on. Or at least I do, because you want it to make that perfect rotation around with the needle, and I was a bit worried about it possibly damaging the record if I did play it on it, so I avoided using the adapter on this, so it could do with a better one of these adapters. I've put my headphones there as well, mostly as a display. I mean, I was thinking that I could possibly use them because I would like to start listening to vinyl more through headphones. I heard it's a great experience, but it doesn't. I don't have the option with this one because it doesn't have a headphone port, which might be a good option and to have included on it, but I can understand why they wouldn't have done that. It's not really a massive priority. And as I said before, with upgrading components, you can always run an external phono stage, which would have a headphone option on there. So that's again no biggie really. The price I think is great for what it is that you're getting. I think when I initially started building my setup, I probably spent about £200. So to have it all in one for 270, because I mean I was buying secondhand as well, so this is just quite, again, ease of use, just to kind of get it all in one go. I think it's quite a good price range for it. The look, I think it looks really good. I mean, you can judge that yourself. I mean, I've set it up how I've set it up here. I've seen other people set it up, and I think it looks good in their setups as well. I just think it's an all-round good looking turntable. Sound has been pretty good for the most part with the different variety of pressings that I tried it on. This pressing actually was one that I was keen to put on it. So this is the amazing album, Quincy Jones, The Dude. The reason I wanted to put it on this one is because this pressing is terrible. It sucks, and I wanted to see how, because I think it's just the way it's been mastered. It's got such a crackle to it, and I just wanted to see how emphasized that was on this pressing, and it wasn't too bad. It was definitely listenable, but it was very evidently there. And I have had a bit of static with some of the records that I was playing on it, which I haven't heard before on them. So I had a really good Japanese pressing of Jimi Hendrix, which I had like a little bit of static in the background of that one as well, which I wasn't getting when I listened to it on my last setup. But I mean, these are just quite nitpicky little things really, but I mean overall it's worked great. All the new pressings that I tried on it were great. It has a decent bass. Another thing actually is this, as I said, I wouldn't use this one personally. I just know that acrylic platters for them are a lot better, and they're quite relatively cheap. I put a picture up before of a £20 one you can get on Amazon, and they just look better, especially with more and more pressings now being like colour pressings. They don't stand out as much when you've got them on black mats like this, so you're better off just getting I would recommend getting a white platter, because it's slightly better sound quality, and it will just make your colour pressings just look that much better as well. And it's a small upgrade for this thing as well, I feel. But yeah, that's my views overall on it. I think it's a really solid player. So I've got some plans potentially for it. And I might do a video on that and a bit of a later date. But yeah, thank you for watching my return video, I suppose, to YouTube. It's been a long while. I'm hoping to kind of use this as a way to kind of getting into the habit again of recording. I've actually quite enjoyed it, and previously recording has been a bit of a daunting aspect, which I don't really know why. Yeah, it's been actually quite fun to kind of have Angel's Horn reach out to me. Has kind of given me a bit of kick to kind of get something put out, and I feel like I kind of needed that. Thanks for everybody that's messaged me as well, just asking how I've been and stuff in the meantime when I haven't been posting. I really appreciate that, especially. Thanks for watching, and yeah, peace out.